My Lords, it's a pleasure to follow the noble lady, Lady Whittaker, and I agree with everything she said, and I also have a daughter who's a journalist, and so for me this is quite personal. There's also the fact, of course, that I care very much about the truth, and journalists quite often are the people who give us the truth in any particular situation. So it's, I would argue that this Amendment 77, I have signed it, and thank you to the noble lady, Lady Clark of Kilwinnie for this. I think slightly awkwardly included in this group, but it does address the specific issue of protecting journalism and journalistic sources. And we absolutely need this protection on the face of the bill. We put it into other bills, like the counterintelligence or counter-terrorism bill, and it would go very easily into this bill as well, just to make sure that we have a clear commitment to journalism. I realise that's not particularly comfortable for this government that has criticised quite a lot of lefty journalists as well as lawyers, but I think it's incredibly important. This group generally shows the very broad support across your Lordship's House for the principle that there must be judicial authorisation actually built into the bill. And it mustn't be arbitrary or a rubber stamping exercise. It's actually got to be the real stuff. So, for example, in many ways, comparing it with search warrants issued by magistrates' court is much too weak a comparison. There are high-level crimes that can be authorised in this bill with deep and lasting consequences. And there must be a high-tier judicial oversight and approval to match. So the question is, can we build consensus around a particular way forward? Baroness Kennedy of the Shaw's Amendment 61 seems to be perhaps the easiest solution to this problem. It sets up the Judicial Commissioner as being the proper overseer and sets out the legal tests that must be met to grant an authorisation. And in particular, it tests the reasonableness of granting authorisation, and it also explicitly protects about breaches of human rights, which we will, of course, come to later. And so overall, I think that the government is being offered a selection of solutions to a particular problem, and I do hope that it takes one of them.